Mickey Robinson was hooked on skydiving. He enjoyed the sensation of floating and flying like a bird far above the earth. All this came to an end one day as the airplane he rode in crashed and then exploded on fire. His death's door experience and his revelatory visit to heaven changed his life forever.
August 15th, 68, you're going for your wonderful flying, and you're in the airplane. And when did you first realize something was wrong?
The airplane did the pre-flight checkup. We took off. We were going, probably 100 miles an hour, maybe 100, 150 feet in the air. And the first thing I remember is the pilot yelled and slapped me on the side and said, "That's it, we're going down. We lost our engine." This plane was a new plane for him, and he thought it was like a rocket. So he really rotated with a steep angle of climb. When we lost the engine, we completely quit flying. So it just drops, the aerodynamic stall. It drops straight down like a dropping a
Tell me what happened at the crash.
Well, we impacted a giant oak tree, and I was flung forward. My body was going as fast as the plane was, and then suddenly it wasn't. But my face stopped my body going 100 miles an hour, so I had a severe head injury. My face was torn open from here up to here. The airplane cartwheeled on its wings, slammed in the ground. The crash was devastating.
When you were in the hospital, what was wrong with you?
Several progressive complications, a massive weight loss as a result of the burns and just the conditions I was in. Went from 170 pounds, perfect athlete, professionally, to 90 pounds.
But what were the burns? What percentage of your body? What
third
type?
Degree, almost down to the bone. Brain injury. I was blinded in my right eye. My nervous system in my legs, the nerves died in the front part of my legs. Both legs were nerve damaged, and I had bilateral foot drop. They were withered like bird claws. I mean, they did everything they knew how to do, every kind of treatment. I was so infected.
So what did these top doctors say? Well,
the doctors at the hospital I was at did everything. They were going to amputate this arm because this hand was so badly infected, but after they had tried everything, they brought in a specialist from one of the leading educational
You also, the reason you went down to 90 pounds is your digestive system was...
A combination of things. The type of burns that I had in the evaporation process alone, it burns 40 calories a day, and I'm not able to take any in. So it's just tremendous.
I don't have to be a doctor to say you didn't stand much of a chance.
No, they didn't think from the beginning I had a chance, but they tried as hard as they could. And they finally, when they exhausted all of their things, they brought in a specialist. And at the end of his summary, he says, "There's nothing that can be done for this young man." And from that point on, they just let me alone. We're going to try and give me as much legal morphine as they could and just let nature take its course and let me die. As I laid there, shaking in that horrible condition, in such pain, and I remember I was wide awake. I can remember as if it happened this morning. My spirit, my inner man. You see, Sid, you are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a body. You really are a spirit. You're an eternal spirit. I'm busy on the earth.
Most people are just worried about their emotional side.
They're worried about what they're going to do today and next week.
And they're missing the whole purpose of life.
Well, there's a wholeness of life. And there's these years, which are important, but there's something else that's called eternity that I was about to get a view of.
Okay, did you actually die?
My spirit sat up in my body, and my spirit was ejected from my body, and I went into a realm that I understand now to be the second heaven, and instantly I knew. See, time was gone, and I was aware of eternity, and it's the most profound thing in the world. As long as you and I are walking around here, we're always conscious, tick, 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 of time. We get up in the morning, you go to bed at night. We're conscious on the physical plane. Everything is related to time, but everything in the spirit is related to eternity. The colors in the spirit world are more colorful. Everything's sharper. The emotions, everything. And you don't like logic and reason. That doesn't happen. You just know that you know. It's like having truth automatically all the time. And I was being drawn. There was a white light out in the distance, and I was being drawn in that light, and I could feel this desire to go. And as I was approaching that, I could feel something on my right side, and I looked, and literally I saw this. I could see and feel and taste the nature of this thing that was closing, and it was black. It was blacker than black, and it was a bottomless pit without a bottom. And it was closing, and the more it closed in front of me, the more I felt the nature of it. It's the separation of all life. There's no experience. There's no matter. There's no chance of changing anything.
No reversal.
No reversal. It's irreversible, eternal separation. It's more horrible and terrifying and hopeless than I can describe in any human terms. It was closing, it began to eclipse that white light, and like from the time, like I said, I'm busy on the earth trying to get it on, be Mr. Cool, be the athlete. I was a worked in a stock brokerage firm, and the day I graduated from high school, I could do a lot of things because of my God-given talents, my looks, and my abilities and all that. I'm a skydiver. I didn't know how to pray. I just said, please, I'm sorry, I want to live, give me another chance. And now I'm standing on the very edge of eternity, feeling this blackness swallowing me, knowing that if that closes, if I am sealed, I'm gone for eternity. I screamed in my spirit, God, I'm sorry, I want to live, give me another chance. And instantly, I was standing in the presence, in the throne room of Almighty God. Instantaneously, I knew I would never die for eternity. Simultaneously with that, I was bathed and baptized in the undiluted love of God the Father. Now, I can't say that in words that do it justice.
I know, but I want to understand what you're saying. I mean, this kind of...
I felt God's love not based on my merits. I felt God's purest, most concentrated form of love. If you can imagine, if you had the ability to see radiation, you know it's invisible, but if you could see the invisible with your visible eyes, I could see this golden light, and it was flowing like a river from my left to my right, and I was standing, and there was golden flecks in it, and it was moving. And somehow I knew and could feel that this river is alive. And it was in front of me, behind me, it was underneath me, it was going right through my spirit man. And I was more alive than any comprehension that any person can have of being alive. Funny thing is, when I came back, it was so bizarre because my spirit, I could feel myself literally traveling from the third heaven through the second heaven, through the Earth's atmosphere, and feel my spirit press into my body. And I could hear out of these ears and see the ceiling out of the eye that wasn't blind. And I was surrounded by about a half a dozen doctors and nurses, and they were staring at me. I had, all of a sudden, I had the ability to be able to read their heart, and they were scared to death. And I felt bad for them, as I was so full. Rather than being freaked out or scared or angry, I was now filled with something I'd never experienced before. I was so full of peace. Sid, if I could put this in a bottle, I'd be the wealthiest drug dealer in the world.
You talked about the thrill of skydiving. Yeah. How does that compare to this rarefied air and this love of God you experienced?
There's no comparison. This realm is other than. One of the descriptions of the word holy means other than. It is so, this is more alive than being, more ecstatic than any type that your imagination can even stretch to. God wants to have us have communion with Him, where His love is really the thing that turns us on. And I was so full, I was overflowing into love of God, faith, joy. They're all thinking this guy, they were scared because I had died, came back, and I'm talking in this weird language. And these poor guys are thinking, how are we going to explain this? And he says, if he does that again, I'm going to get the blank out of here, And,
okay, listen, you can't walk, you can't see, you can't think, you can't eat, you have no future. You must have been started to get very depressed.
It was the opposite. I couldn't wait to live and get out and fulfill these promises that I had received. The power of God, see that river that I saw in heaven, that river is now inside me. The love of God that I felt was now inside me. And that began to overcome death and the destruction that had happened to my body. Over a period of time, God healed my leg. The other leg had a leg brace on. I just would talk to my legs. I said, legs moved. This leg worked, this one didn't work. And then one day I was instantly healed.
But what about your eye? You're blind.
I was blind for 5.5 years, and God restored my sight, and the doctors have no explanation. And they just said it's unexplainable. It's in a medical journal. They have no explanation. It's a miracle.
You are, even now, gradually everything that was destroyed is coming back to life. Do you believe it's that river you're talking about?
It's the river of life. And it's talked about in the Bible from the very beginning of the Bible to the end of the Bible. And at the end of the Bible, it talks about when the river goes out from the temple and touches things, everything that it touches comes to life. I believe that there are hurting people right now, that whether they're hurts, a lot of times when people hear my story, and no matter what scene, it could be in a business thing, or I've been on other media, I've been in schools, I've been in businesses, I've been in colleges, and they would say invariably, all my scars are on the inside. There's a lot of hurts, a lot of hurting people. And the one thing is, God sent me back to be a messenger of hope, that in Him there's more than hope. There's hope in this life and in the life, the eternal life that's to come. And it's not just in the eternal life, there's hope in this life. All of you that are hearing this, you heard a broken man. There's no reason while I'm sitting here today, 38 years later, twice as long alive as I would have been dead, except for the real God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the only true God. There's only one God. There's lots of spirits, but there's only one true God. If it wasn't for God, I'm a dead man. I'm not here. But he sent me back to be a voice of life, a voice of hope, that in every situation there is the extreme love of God and intervention. He wants to intervene in your life. Whatever your problem is right now, or whatever problem you don't think you have, if you don't know God, believe me, you need to know the living God. He created you for a purpose, and it's not just to hang around this earth. It's brief, whether it's 19 years, it'll be 19 years, I'm 57 now, whether I live to be 100 or not, it's like that compared to eternity. But what you do now, you can choose to know and love God.
The word of the Lord against the British island and the throne. The son of a curse is already there in the darkness, and his reign will be in the mighty light, the white light of the lightning, for he is a man of devils, a bane of curse. He is a man who is receiving teaching and who is already in preparation. His manifestation is already near. How much the suffering of my children is necessary, for I must purify them and twist them before the arrival of the man of sin. I must press my people before the rise of this man of curse. After purifying my people with fire of purification, the curse will come out and descend into the gigantic fire of Jannah. This is where he will come down. Do not understand these things with a man's heart, with man's eyes, but understand it from the eye of the Spirit, for from the Isle of England, it is here that the curse of this throne will first manifest itself, for this throne of England is cursed. This throne is cursed, and that is why this tumult is thus around these queens, around these kings, around these princesses, these dukes, these duchesses, because they are carried by a power of curse, and this queen will fall, and whoever follows this queen, whoever ascends the throne and sits in the place of that queen, that one will be fully filled with the bane of curse, malediction. This island is cursed. For the blessing you have received on your country, this island cannot receive it like you. Let me tell you that I tried to save them and to stir my people, but how much the Church of Britain fell asleep. Call my blood on this island, call on my blood against this throne, invoke my blood on my people, for it is for him that you must invoke, intercede, because the people of England need you. I give you this mystery, son. Give this mystery, because I open the road. The throne of England will carry the accursed. The accursed will sit on the throne of England. He will first sit on this throne. Are you ready to pay the price? For high magic dwell on this man, a great magical power dwell in him. He already knows the mysteries of darkness. He is already walking in the mysterious places of darkness. His spirit already has the knowledge of Satan. Such is the Antichrist. He will seek to oppose me. He will seek to oppose my testimony, but no iota of the letter will be removed until the day when this earth will be renewed, until the day when my spirit will envelop this globe, where my spirit will cover this globe again, and when Jerusalem will be radiant light with eternal sun. This land will undergo a revival after destruction. Word of the Lord for the people of Britain. Thus say the Lord, the people and the Church of England will be the first persecuted. In truth, this Church of England has a great heritage, a powerful and profound inheritance, but why is she asleep? Small children of the islands, I give you these things because my morning is near. I will come down on the church. How much I am waiting for this day where I wish to meet my church. Do not be afraid of these things that I announce to you, but make note, for the icy wind will be heard, and souls who do not know my name will be filled with this cold. They will frost on themselves as a very hard winter will descend on this island of Britain. A very harsh winter will descend on this island. Roads will be cut, families will be broken, men and women will be frozen in the frost. They will perish in the freeze, they will die in the freeze. They will be seized by the cold that will take the bones. This island will experience a harsh winter, and you will hear about these things. Woe to the king, for in his heart he knows the mysteries of darkness. In his heart he knows a lot of works that are kept secret, and these royal before ascending to the throne, before receiving the accursed crown, they receive the teaching of mysteries of darkness. Know it. Do not trust their faces of peace. Do not trust their faces of smile and laugh, for these men are cursed. These men and women are cursed, and I will shake this throne. I will shake the throne of England, for this is my will that I have fixed. My Father approves my will because he gave me his authority. The authority of the Father is over the Anointed One and the Son of the Covenant, the eternal Son of the New Covenant. This is the covenant of God. You must know these things. I will preserve the greater number of my flock and I will take them with me. That is why you must rejoice, and your heart should not be full of fear and weeping. Weep rather on those who will remain and cry over those who are going to stay, for great tribulations will come down, but I will not hand my people to this swarm of pigs, that dog, that brood of demons, that brood of filth. He will not know glory, he will not know the pleasure of putting his hand on my people, for I will rapture my people, I will remove my people and I will take them to heaven. But the testimony will remain until the day when the Spirit will cast Satan, the son of darkness and the false prophet, into the jailer of fire. He will be destroyed. The testimony will remain, it will be hidden. This seed will seek to destroy the Bible that you have in your hands. He will not want to see it. He will change the names of these books. He will change the terms of my word. But how much I will keep secret and keep hidden a holy testimony, as the testimony has come to you from the time of creation. It will reach the seed of the beast, the posterity of the beast. She will know the testimony because I will leave it on the earth during the tribulation, and so is my king. As this king discovered the book of the temple in the holy temple of God, this book which had been forgotten, which had been covered with the false idols of Israel, I will give the generation of the beast to receive the testimony. They will receive the testimony. Cry on you, my children, cry on the church, for even the sky approaches these things from a distance. The power of darkness will be great on the earth. The power of Antichrist will be great. When he showed up on the throne, his magnitude will surpasses the thought you have about him. His manifestation will surpasses your thoughts because he is surrounding you already. That is why you must be careful in all things. Be careful, I will give you victories. Do not regret what you have experienced. Do not regret the things of the world that you have abandoned. Do not regret what you have lived in the world, for the glory I have in store for you is bigger. I've prepared for you greater glory. I just ask you the question, are you ready to pay this price? I bless him who loves me. I like the one who loves me. I honor the one who loves me. I still have so many things to tell you. I still have so much to say to you. Are you ready to hear these things? Let your hearts be prepared. Be filled with me, so you will go, you will build the house. Word of the Lord, the rise of the false prophet and the man of sin. A wind is rising on the world. Listen to the word of prophecy, church of the world. A wind rises on the world, a wind that will bring suffering, a wind that will bring salvation, because it will arouse in the children of suffering the need to seek my face. But on children of anger this wind will produce a suffering that will produce death. I have a people among the children of the world. I have reserved people among children of anger. But the judgments must be manifested. The cherub of the Lord, the angels of God are already present on the heights of this earth. The cup of God's wrath will soon be overthrown on this earth that has refused the testimony of the Lamb. Signs will appear in the heavens. Children will have visions. Young people will have dreams. Old men will breathe the Spirit and speak according to the wisdom of God. My Spirit will pour out again. It is necessary that the testimony of the blood reached the end of the earth before the one that is to rise come. And he will rise up, the enemy of God, carrying 24 horns, bearing a crown which was given to him by the hands of the rulers of the nations, a crown of 10 stones. The anointed one of evil, his face is a face of men's wisdom. His heart is overflowing with the suffering that the devil will raise up and pour on this earth. The man of sin will rise. Be sure, he will rise. He will be carried in his reign. His kingdom will be aroused by the one who wears the robe of blood, the one who blasphemes, the one who diverts my word, the one who discards the word of Jehovah and turns away the prophecies, who turns away the signs. This is the time of the revelation of this prince. A woman has delivered a male child. This woman has delivered a hybrid being, who will be the fruit of the alliance between the flesh and the spirit. From the darkness he will receive instructions directly from his Father. A throne has been prepared. The nations will be gathered. This prince will have a cloak that will be covered with tribulation and suffering. The prince will be instructed in fornication, in magic, in defilement, and this prince will turn against my people. This prince will turn against those who have received the testimony of the blood. This prince was already conceived. Therefore be united to each other. Teach your children unity for what is coming. Word of the Lord, a pope has risen, this one will be displayed, this pope will know the mystery of the kingdom of the dead. This pope will instruct this prince, he will instruct him in fornication, in magic, in defilement. It is from this pope that the tribulation will come, it is from him that the tribulation will come, for this pope has in him words of division. He will be given a scepter of authority, of power. He will manifest his powerful works. How many pastors will give themselves to him and sign an alliance? Many churches will sign an agreement, a covenant with him. Be united, turn your eyes to the heavens, for the signs of God will be manifest. May those who do not know how to suffer ask God for the strength to suffer. Those who are afraid of suffering come to draw strength from me. They will have to ask me power to sustain suffering, for the Pope and this prince will rise and they will turn against my people. This prince will turn against those who have received the testimony of blood. This prince was conceived. Be united to each other. Teach your children the fear of my name, for my people will go through a flame. Europe holds the throne of the Antichrist. This throne was facing Europe. It must hold, since I will not touch it as long as this throne will not manifest itself and will only reveal the prophecy that I gave to my servant Daniel. I will raise servants all over Europe and all over the world. I will raise them and they will rise against the authorities. They will rise against this throne of the man of sin. Some will be murdered. Some of you tonight will be beaten, murdered for my glory, and I will allow these things to bear witness, and they will bear witness, just as Stephen was a witness, just as my servants who were shaken by the whip of the devil will be a testimony to the world. You will be torn apart, you will be shaken by the father of lies, and I will allow these things, but I will carry you myself. There is a curse in a little city, there is a curse in the cathedral of this little city. A throne will be raised in the middle of this cathedral, a ceremony will be given in honor of this Antichrist. He will rise in the middle of this cathedral, the servant of the devil, the representative of the devil. Blasphemy will humble himself before this man, this prince. Blasphemy of Babylon will give him his crown. The false prophet will give him his staff and he will cover him with his cloak, and that prince will be crowned in that cathedral. The television, the radios of the whole earth will be present in the cathedral. The world of men, wherever they are in the depths of the mountains, in the depths of the caves, will see this testimony. The prince will move from this cathedral and this city and will manifest in the throne of 10 stars. The leaders of these 10 stars will pay homage to this prince. The prince will receive the scepter and the authority of these kings and queens. The man of blasphemy, the false prophet, will move with the prince wherever he goes. What you have never seen will be seen, and know, I give you these things, church of the world, as testimony. We will see the manifestations of magic of this man of blasphemy. Men will be resurrected, but not from the Spirit of God, but by the Spirit that has put them to sleep. Men will have visions, but not visions of the Lord, but visions of the Spirit that will carry this prince. Miracles like never been seen on this earth will manifest, and the testimony of the good news of the gospel will be brought to the whole world. Then the 7th seal of the Lord will be gradually opened. Be attentive to these things. Do not keep them for yourself. Pass them on to the churches, because the 7 seals will soon be opened. Warn the pastors not to continue to have this language of dilution and mix.